We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 73, year 3. Today, we have a special guest, a friend of mine, Luiz Rizental. We're going to talk about day trading. We're going to talk about private games. We're going to talk about the World Series of Poker starting in, 13 days. We're going to talk about my packages. We're going to talk about my online home game. We're going to talk about politics if you want. We're going to talk about sports. Whatever you want, the Mouthpiece is next. What up? What up? Mike the Mouth here. How's it going? We are going to also have a pick of the week this week. I just got back from Chicago last week. I was there for poker. It was supposed to be a vacation for me to visit my friend Ferraro, but he decided that when I told him we were coming, that he was coming to Vegas for the weekend, and he had already planned it 4 months in advance with his mother and grandmother. So we ended up going to Chicago to play poker. We landed on Tuesday. We played in a kind of like a big home game at this mansion that we were at. I showed a video of it on my Twitter. I think I did. If I didn't, I'll have to send it again. But this place was amazing. It was like a $40 million home. It had a 4-lane bowling alley that was tricked out. It was really amazing. We played poker there all night. Unfortunately, my good friend Phil Hellmuth put me in the shitty game and took all the fish cakes and put them in his game because that's what Phil does.
Are you crazy, Phil?
Yes. And so we end up in a shitty game where I won like 1,100. And Phil and his brother and all of them won like 35,000 because, well, that's what Phil does.
Because I'm good at no limit hold'em.
Anyways, so we went to this game. Then we went to the charity event Wednesday night. The charity event was Thursday night, in which there was, I don't even know how many people, but a lot. And they were all very, very, very wealthy people. I mean, there were people rebuying up to the final table, like getting $1 million in chips for like 100,000. They donated for the kids. It was for a good cause. They probably raised about $2.5 million. And as you know, whatever you think about Phil, he's just really good with, doing charity events and things like that. So it was a good tournament. I ended up finishing 5th in the tournament on one bullet, and that was fun. I got a little 5th place trophy, big deal, but it was fun. There was only one winner, $25,000 diamond for a jewelry store giveaway, and the rest went all. So, I wanted to win. $25,000 in jewelry. Maybe I'll find me a new girl or something. $25,000 in jewelry, you'd be amazed how many come showing up, So, that kind of sucked. I didn't do that. And so then I went over to play in a private game. Our guest today, Luiz Rizental, will be on. He plays in the private games with me online, and we kind of met him and his boy Brian. They play in a private game twice a week in Chicago, and we're going to discuss private games and how poker has really descended into private games. And so that's kind of what I did last week. The losing streak is over. Ever since I had those aces cracked by kings, I know I talked about this on the last podcast, in which the guy hit a king on both boards for 16,000. I've rolled off around 18 winning days out of 19, if I'm not mistaken. And that $130,000 losing streak is being cut to around I don't know, gotten close to about 65,000 back, if I'm not mistaken. So that's good heading into the World Series. I feel like I'm playing good. Playing a little bit tighter than normally, only because, when you go on losing streaks, you got to get your confidence back. And, now that I got my confidence back, hopefully good things are to come. So, let's see what else has been going on in the world. The world has lost its fucking mind. It's wear a fucking mask and get vaccinated or you're a bad person. They're pushing out lies that unvaccinated people are spreading COVID. That's a lie. Okay. Just as many people who are vaxxed are spreading COVID. That's the truth. Yes, about 90% of the people in the hospitals are not vaccinated, but guess what? That's their own fucking problem. Okay, if they want to go to the hospital and die, well, we live in a free country. You can't have a dictator like Joe Biden trying to tell everybody over 100 people in your business you have to be mandatory, vaccine. What are they going to do? Come into every business and try and put them out of business? I was at Chicago Airport flying home. The lady told me that half the people at the airport quit over mandatory vaccines. Listen, I got vaccinated. I think it was a good thing. I'm a higher risk, so I didn't want to take any chances. But for them to tell 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds of perfect condition to be vaccinated or you're ostracized from society, go fuck yourself. I can't believe you motherfuckers elected, like literally voted for Joe Biden. I mean, this guy's a swamp creature for 47 fucking years. What y'all think was going to happen? I mean, they're communists. The fucking Democrats are not the Democrats from 1990, from 2000. These are communist fucking motherfuckers trying to destroy the United States with their fucking communist fucking laws and bullshit. And if people don't want to if people want to argue with me, you can call in the show. We'll be taking plenty of phone calls today, and you can argue with me. So, anyways, that's going on in the world. I get real passionate because I can't even believe what's going on in this country right now. I think it's one of the saddest things I've probably ever witnessed in my life. But that's that's on all you motherfuckers. I got a shirt that says I didn't vote for him. It's not my fault. Go fuck yourself. Anyways, we are going to bring a guest, a friend of mine, on the show. He's a little crazy. His name is Luiz. And then we're going to take phone calls, and then we are going to give out my pick of the week. If you haven't joined my private online poker game where we play 1-2 no limit, 1-2 PLO every day, email mouthpoker@yahoo.com, mouthpoker@yahoo.com. Sign up, get $250 in chips for $200. Play with me every day. I play about an hour a day, sometimes 2 or 3 if I want to help keep the games full and whatever. But I play about an hour a game day. We have a lot of fun. Mouthpoker@yahoo.com. For info to play in my private online game, it's 1-2 no limit, 1-2 PLO, and that's about it. So let's bring on Luiz. Luiz, are you there? He is, but he's muted. Well, unmute yourself, you dumb motherfucker.
His camera's not on.
Now your camera's not on. Well, turn your fucking camera on and unmute yourself. Fucking dummy.
Wait a second.
There he is. Luiz, what's up, man?
Hold on. Let's see.
What are you doing, motherfucker?
Brian.
Luiz, what are you doing, Luiz?
I'm trying to use my camera, but
Well, let's see. I'm computer fucking dumb as fuck, and you are like 20 years younger than me. And
there we go.
He did it. He's got it. There he
There you
is. My man Luiz. What's going on, man?
Not much. We excited to be on.
Yes.
Excited to talk to you about all the vaccine stuff, all the poker stuff.
So,
you kicked it off with a bang.
So the bottom line is, and you tell all my listeners and viewers, is you are a day trader by day and a D-Gen poker player by night. Is this correct?
Yeah, that's right. Basically every day is a lot of ups and downs. Hopefully more ups than downs, but gotta gamble it up a little bit, especially in the nighttime.
Yeah. You definitely gambling it up at the nighttime. That's for sure. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself. You basically you trade during the day. You play lots and lots of poker. You play in a lot of private games. Tell us about the private game scene in Chicago.
Yeah, sure. So I got into poker probably about 4 years ago, around 2017. I just went to the casino randomly one day.
Damn, you've only been playing 4 years? Interesting.
I've only been playing like 4.5 years maybe. And a lot of traders did have a poker background, or vice versa. Somebody with a poker background went into trading. But I had never really played outside of, a Thanksgiving game with friends or whatever. So I got into the scene. And then, mostly in the casinos, started playing 5-10, which was kind of the highest stakes for a while at my casino, and then some 10-20 games and, even some 20-40 games before the pandemic. Then once the pandemic started, all that kind of went private, as you know.
Yeah.
So got into an app game, which was mostly kind of Chicago regs. And then what happened from there, me and Brian, which is another recreational friend of mine, we decided to run the app. And, the game quality was really good. And then, the most notable change of all was this live Chicago game that I'm blessed to be a part of.
I'm blessed that you invited me to play.
I'm blessed you can.
The only thing that sucked is, the only thing I regret about my trip is that I went and played at that $40 million mansion on Lake Geneva with Phil, because I missed your game on Wednesday, which I wish I would have played. Yeah,
well, it's a really good game. If you are disciplined and you run good, you can make a lot of money.
They had me 30,000 loser, and I didn't win a pot for the first 7 hours, and 5 minutes later, literally 5 minutes, I was 3,000 loser. Which is what I ended up losing. But the game was quite special. And you were making it pretty special too, after your ass got stuck. But you know what the funny part was is you sit there and said, Mike, I'm 40 loser. Like, I never even remembered you losing a pot. I remember like 5,000, 4,000, 3,000, a couple of, but I mean, yeah, I remember the one hand you got coolered on, the ace king versus kings, but it just seemed like, big game.
It's a big game, and if you're comfortable with the stakes and you make the necessary call downs versus some special players, you can have a night like that. And conversely, you can also have a very big night relative to the stakes.
So like, this is for everybody listening. This is a 10-10-20 game. Okay, 10-10-20 with a max buy-in of 5,000. Now, the only time the buy-ins could go up to 10,000 buy-in is if somebody gets 40,000 loser. Yours truly, Luiz, did that last week, and then he got the buy-ins went up to 10. But I know that's you ask yourself a 5 or 10, 10, 20 game with a 5K buy-in, how big can it be? Well, why don't you tell everybody how big it can be and what you won in the game like I think it was 3 weeks ago, a month ago?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm comfortable sharing that.
Oh, you don't need to. You don't need to. Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I won, a small house.
Small house. Yeah, I agree.
In a game. But it plays really big because it's often straddled, right? Like, it'll be 10, 10, 20, 40, 80 a lot of the times. And
hell, when I was there, it was 10, 10, 20, 40, 80, 160, 320, 66, 40.
Yeah. So 5K stack is basically, 10, 20 big blinds a lot of the times.
Yeah.
People just, somebody jams 5K and you look down at pocket fives.
I couldn't. I was, as most of you guys know, I play pretty tight. So I'm watching this game. We're in the game for about 10 minutes, and I see this 10, 20, 40, 80 straddle, raise to 300, all in 5K, call all in 5K, call all in 5K. Me and my best friend Ben, we're looking at each other like, what the fuck do these guys have, right? And one guy turns over ace jack, one guy turns over pocket fives, and the other guy turns over king queen. And me and Ben looked at each other like, wow, this is one heck of a game, And somehow I didn't beat it, but
no, it's a special game, and I'm blessed to be able to play in it, and we constantly look for for good players that good for the game.
Yeah.
You have a lot of experience with private games. What did you think about that? Overall,
I mean, I love the venue. Was really nice. We played in a garage, but it was a pimped out garage. We had 2 bartenders that were really pretty girls, and 2 masseuses that were also really pretty girls, and everybody kind of like they drank. We had food. Really nice setup, and it was an unranked game, and so we basically we did like a time pot or whatever we just took out for what everything cost for everybody, for food and drinks and the girl and the people that do the massages and all that also. So that was really good. I enjoyed it. I was going to come back next week. But then Ryan wanted me to play in LA, and then I was going to play in LA. Now you and Brian are going to be playing on the Hustler Live stream Monday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm going to try to play Monday through Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm going to go down to Columbia on Thursday.
Okay. Yeah, so if you haven't watched Hustler Live, a good friend of mine, Ryan Feldman, used to run live at the bike, now runs Hustler Live. The streams have been absolutely fantastic. The games have been amazing. As you guys know, when I was down there like 3 weeks ago, it was a lot of fun. And then so he's going to be playing this week or next week on Hustler Live. I might be coming down Monday. I'm leaning more towards probably staying home and taking some time off of poker. Right now the thing that I'm doing more than anything is I started today actually is playing my mixed games. I haven't played a mixed game in 2 years. It's like riding a bike, but I'm gonna put in a lot of hours here the next 13 days, just playing mixed games so I can get sharp for the World Series.
And you're like one of the best in the world in mixed games.
Yeah, I mean, I believe I haven't played in 2 years, but before, I believe I'm top 20 mixed game player in the world. No, I think I used to be probably top 10, but I'll put myself around top 20, and I haven't I haven't played in a, like I said, I haven't played in a couple of years, but it's like riding a bike. It's
how would you compare it to No Limit as far as the skill edge difference between?
Listen, you're gonna make more money as a great No Limit Hold'em player than you are in a mixed game. Because if you're a top No Limit Hold'em player, you're gonna steal a lot of pots. You're gonna be locked in. You're gonna find your spots. You're gonna trap people for big amounts. In limit in the mixed games, it's all about small edges. So let's just play most of the time I play 3-600 mix, right? You're trying to win a big bet an hour. So in the mixed games, it's basically, you got to make that. The pot size doesn't really mean anything if you know you're beat. So there could be like raise, re-raise, 3 bets on the turn. Now you bet the river and the guy raises you, right? And you just know you're beat, and you don't just sit there and throw 600 in. Let's say, well, 600 to win 13,000. I'm getting 15, 20 to 1. Doesn't matter, okay? If you're 100% sure you're beat, you got to fold. If you're 50-50, you got to call. I think even if you're 75-25, you got to call. But right. you just know when you're beat. So in limit, it's about making that raise on the turn or raise on the river and getting the extra bet and making that fold on the turn or fold on the river and saving that extra bet. And that's where your edges are. So basically, your edges are small. You're trying to grind that one big bet an hour, which in a 3-600 game is like $600. And so the focus is on more or less, once you learn how to play the games, it's about saving a bet and maximizing a bet. And in tournament mixed games, it's not even about maximizing a bet because, you don't need to make the extra 1 or 2 bets, but it's really about pot control and saving those extra bets. At least that for me, and that's why I don't want to give out too many of my secrets in tournament limit, but mixed games. But that's kind of like how I play. Is I play mixed games where I'll look like a deuce to 7. I'm looking to make big bluffs all the time. Even deuce to 7, no limit, deuce to 7, triple draw. There's a lot of moves and a lot of things I do. Where I mix it up a little bit, but Omaha 8, stud 8, things like that. It's where I'm really good.
What's your best game?
Yeah, I'm the split games. I'm really good at the split games because that's all I played for like 15, 20 years. So I understand so much about the split games. So I'm good at all the mixed games. I play all the horse, Hold'em, Omaha, Raz, stud 8. My weakest game is probably stud because I don't maximize. I struggle to maximize my hands, and sometimes struggle to get away from hands. But stud high is only 8 hands, and nobody plays it very often. So I kind of just play even during the mixed games, and I don't even play the 10K stud. I played it once in like the last 15 years. I don't like playing games where I don't feel I'm one of the best players in, and so I just don't play it. Like even PLO, I'm really good in 9-handed PLO. I'm even good at 6-handed PLO. But I suck at short-handed PLO. So, I do well in the PLO events at the World Series. The 10K PLO is probably the best tournament in the world. To be honest with you, it's just such a juicy field. You have a lot of great players, but the bad players are just ridiculous. The stuff they put it in with. So the first time I ever played that, I was like chip leader with 44 people to go, and some idiot put in, like me and him were like 2 of the top chip leaders. He wanted to play a $5 million chip where he was, I was 4.5 to 1 favorite. You get your money in like over 4 to 1 favorite in PLO. It's pretty fucking good, That would have gave me a massive chip lead with like 44 people to go. Instead, of course, the guy hits the one of like 4 outs that he had, or 6 outs. Well, 6. He had 6 outs, right? 4 outs. Whatever it was. I had a set in an open-end straight draw against a bigger open-end straight draw and 1 pair, basically. And he needed a king or an 8. The guy under the gun threw away 2 kings and an 8. And I had an 8 in my hand. So, yeah, it was. He had 4 outs. He had 2 kings and 2 8s to hit. So, and so to get, it was like a 1.1 million chip pot. There was only 9 million in chips in play, by the way. So 1.1 million chip pot with 43 to go with only 9 million in play. Give you an idea of where I'd be in that tournament. And he had 4 outs, and somehow he hit it. And that was that was 2016. I'll never forget it because I took the chair and threw it across the fucking room, and I went nuts because I had owed a lot of money, and even if you made the final table, you were guaranteed like 150,000, right? And so I owed a lot of money, and I needed that tournament badly. And a lot of things that happened in my life the next year and a half wouldn't have happened if that motherfucker didn't hit the 4-outer. And security came up to me and they threatened to kick me out. And then I'm pretty good friends with the people who run the World Series, and they kind of let me go. But yeah, I went crazy. I literally threw the fucking chair across the fucking room. I was pissed because I was playing for my life.
So Mike, we talked about this the other day. About like downswings and stuff like that. How did you go from, being almost broke in 2016 or whatever to climbing back out and like these private games that we play, we're obviously playing with, some really special players. That they could.
It's a good question. I worked hard, and because I'm in pain all the time, a lot of times it's very hard. But I put in the work. I really, I did well in the 2019 World Series. Finished off really strong with a top 200 finish in the main and a 4th place finish in the stud 8, where I had the chip lead going into the final day, and lost a 3.3 million chip pot where I was 97.3%. And there was only 8 million in play. So, that was just ridiculous. And so that cost me that tournament. But, no matter how good you play, you got to get lucky at a final table. If you don't run good at final table, you ain't never going to win. Right. So that kind of got me started on my way back. And this time, instead of like my whole life, I'd always make some scores and then just pay out to everybody like most of my money. And then I'd lose 2 days in a row and I'd go broke again. So I just decided this time that I'm not going to pay anybody anything until I'm on my feet. And I took that money and I parlayed it into making a lot of money. COVID came. The COVID games were great. And I did really well. And I paid off most of what I owe. I owe very little right now. I owe less than like 200,000. Substantially less actually. And so, and I'm doing well, and I just pay people off when I win. You know what I mean? I decided to put myself first instead of put everyone else first, and it's worked out well, and people aren't complaining because they get big chunks of money. I don't like when I owe somebody 30,000, giving them 500 or 1,000. They're like, "Oh, you give me 1,000." I don't like doing that. I like handing them a big chunk. You know what I'm saying? So,
sure.
So I'm almost out of debt now, and I'm doing well.
Sure. And you're also selling.
So
the U-stick package, right?
Yeah. So what? So basically, and for people out there that don't know, so I'm playing. I got this list in front of me. I'm playing the 25K horse. Okay, so that's one. Now I'm playing the 10K 08, 10K limited hold'em, 10K dealer's choice. Dealer's choice is all the games. You get to pick them. I play all the games well. I final tabled it 2 years ago. It's one of the hardest tournaments, but one of the best tournaments you could play in. I'm playing the 10K horse, the 10K PLO 8, which is probably my best game, 10K no limit deuce, 10K deuce to 7 limit, pot the 10K pot limit Omaha that I was just talking about, the main event, the 10K stud 8, 10K Raz, and 10K six-handed no limit hold'em, which will be a tough event. Now, so I'm playing. I'm also playing the 5K freeze out, and possibly, if we're doing well, the 50K Poker Players Championship. So I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 events of 10K or higher. But what I've done is, I've charged a little bit markup, a little bit more markup than most people do, but I don't care because I win every year at the World Series. And if people want to cry about an extra couple $100, they could go suck a dick. They're playing. They pay $250,000 for a fucking crypto punk that I wouldn't pay $2.50 for. So, and then they want to cry about markup an extra $100 or $200, so they could all go suck it. And I promise, you heard it from me now. These fucking NFTs and crypto punk bullshit, they're going to be worth pennies in like a year. I mean, I don't even know what they're even buying. They buy something that looks like, here, this is what it looks like. Give me a pen, somebody. It looks like a fucking stick figure. You know what I mean? I mean, literally, I was gonna draw my own crypto punk today.
We can sell it.
Yeah, we can. Why don't you go look in my room and see if you can find that pen. We could draw our own crypto punk today, and we can see if we can get somebody to pay like $250,000 for it today, because that's what's I don't even understand it. It doesn't even make any sense to me. So, but what I've done is I've pieced them all together with anywhere from 3K to my $1,500 tournaments. Actually, I got the 25K piece with the 5K. So if you buy I'm selling 50% of myself in the 25K. Let's just say you buy 5%, you'll have 2.5% of me in the 5K no limit. That's the biggest one. The rest of them, I'm giving 25% of all my 1500s, 2000s, 2500, 3000s, all for free for buying a piece in my bigger events. And the people, it's funny. It's like people are like, "Oh, look at Mike. He's selling half myself." Whatever. That's a fucking pot. That's a fucking. You brought out my fucking pipe. Hey man, we can hit this up. I guess that don't fucking work. Yeah. So let's. What we're gonna do together while we're on here is we're going to write a crypto punk. Here it is. Ready? There it is, everybody. Here it is. Ready, everybody? Let's see. Okay. There it is, everybody. This is our new crypto punk. 250,000 is the going bid. Anybody want to bid on my crypto punk? It's actually a piece of paper, but it looks like the crypto punk that they're selling. The opening bid is $250. We're looking to get about $5.1 million for this. It's your own Mike Matasso special stick figure crypto punk, the first one, and there's only one available. So just think, if you bid for $250,000, now hopefully we'll get it up to 5.2 fucking million. You could have the one and only Mike Matasso stick figure crypto punk. That's what they're fucking selling. This is what they're giving. This is what they're buying on fucking the internet. I mean, are these fucking people crazy? This is the one and only. There's only one of these. Do you guys understand that? They're not 8 or 9. This is rare. $250,000 is the opening bid. Go fuck yourself. These people are crazy.
They're crazy.
They're fucking crazy. It doesn't even make sense. I saw some ape that looks like something a little 2-year-old could draw, and it's sold for 2.8 fucking million, right? It's like it's like this stupid looking ape with blinking looking eyes, and watching the poker players drool over it. They're like, "Oh, that's really cool. I might want to buy that." And I'm just like, You dumb motherfucker. You know, it's like, they're like, well, people buy art for like, I mean, they sold a CryptoPunk for more than the Mona Lisa sold for recently. I'm just thinking, well, these people, I mean, do they just have all these fucking crypto millionaires just don't give a fuck and they have unlimited money? This whole NFT crypto thing is bullshit. Yeah, I agree with this guy here. NFT is a scam, but crypto in general is not. I agree. Most crypto there's a lot of bad coins out there, you know, but overall, you know, Mike, what'd you say? Do I get a bonus for the home game? Yeah. Oh, you know, that's what I should do. I should give away bonuses to the home game for people who buy a piece of me in the. That's a good idea. He's right. So, like, people who buy a piece of me in the, like in the 10K, if they buy 1%, and we'll give them an extra fucking $100 on my home game. Yeah, I mean, we'll do that starting this week. Good idea. You know, I'm also, for everybody that's listening here, before the World Series starts next week, next Friday, we are going to have a giveaway. I don't know if you guys remember, but in 2019, we gave away 1% for free to 7 of my 10K events. And we did trivia with my Blockers for Dummies video. And we're going to do trivia again next Friday. And we're going to give 1% away to probably 5 of my 10Ks. Maybe I might, if I'm generous, I might go to 7, 8, or 9, or who knows? I might give 1% to all of them. Depends how I feel. So next Friday, check in. We'll be giving 1% to my 10Ks for people who answer some trivia. We're going to have some good trivia questions set up. So we'll be doing that on Friday. So going back to you, Luis. Luis plays in my home game. Not my private home game, but our online app home game. He's been playing with us for 2 months now.
Yeah, something like that. 2
months now, and you're down a small amount because of your grenade the other day, right?
Yeah, it's close. You know, I got into some pretty big pots. You and I played a 60K pot.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember, but I think I told you about a 60K pot I won about 3-4 weeks ago. This is the guy I beat.
You know, I'm gonna take that game for 100,000.
I'm sure you will. I mean,
but no. So I've been playing that game for a couple months. I don't know how much of details I can go into in that game.
Yeah, but, we don't talk much about it. We just, you play. Just you talk about playing in it and how what you think of it and.
Yeah, so the game is obviously really, really good. A lot of good action, really big also, which kind of stimulates. There's a lot of egos involved when people are stuck. I'm not saying I'm immune to that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of
there's a lot of $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 pots in an online 10, 20, 40 game. The game's good, but it's not where it was months ago. It was really good when we were in Chicago. I got somebody back in the game that was real good for the game. And then we have, it's good and it's hit or miss. There's days where it's real tough, and we have to grind for 3-4 hours, but sometimes the whole key is you got to start bad games to get good games sometimes, and it's not fun like playing with Ben, just people people are on there playing good, but usually after 3-4 hours, who's ever stuck loses their fucking minds, and and you're good at doing that yourself, and then we we enjoy ourselves. So we're playing only 3. We've lowered it now because the game got a little bit weak a few days, so we made it 3 days a week, but still everybody's been playing 5 days a week, even though we changed the rules to 3 days a week. So
yeah, and I like the fact that in the game, like even if I'm winning in the game or something, right? Even if I like have an edge or whatever, like it's still people act in a way that they still give action, right? Like and I think that's the essence of a private game. That's what makes it so different from a casino, is that there's this element of how to play, especially as like a pro player, that you have to give some action so that the discretionary players who might do something else during the day that they want to play, right? Or that they feel like they have.
You have to give some action. Me, I just fucking play like a fucking nut, okay? I mean, but the truth of the matter is, though, no, I'm not gonna lie to you. So I mean, everybody knows I play pretty tight, but like when I start rolling and I start winning some hands and I get a little confidence going, I mean, I use my image well. I mean, I rob as many, if not more, pots than anybody. But me and Luis have a little bit different style. Luis likes to play a lot more pots, which is fine. But he gets paid. So when he gets hot, he gets paid. They don't. The biggest problem that people have against players like Luis is they see him when he's drinking. They see you when you're drinking. They see you when you're stuck. They see. I'm singing Santa Claus to you. Anyways, but and so then they don't even. One of the biggest problems with poker players is their awareness is so poor. So they don't see that the fact, like, where most of the time you'll say, oh, that guy stuck 15,000. He must be playing bad, which I'd have to say 80% of the time is a true statement. But sometimes, kind of like when you put 13,000 in with Ace King last week, and I said, oh, that person's playing pretty good, even though they're stuck. And you were like, shit, why don't you just aware? And you had a couple drinks in you anyways, but that's but you're aware most of the time. But sometimes, if you're not, a lot of people aren't aware. And I've watched people in our game just stick in 15,000 where I know the other guy what he has. And so awareness in poker is so important. It's so easy to play with people that are, that normally get stuck and go on tilt. We have, I'm not naming any names, but there's like 3 of them in our game, 4 of them. And so you see them stuck, you're like, you make these big calls because you think they're stuck, but sometimes they're playing well, and that ends up being a mistake. And everybody does it, not just you. I mean, I've done it, but me personally, I try and keep my awareness of who's stuck and who's playing bad, or who's stuck and who's tilted. And most people go on tilt for very short amount of times. I mean, but you tilt for 5 minutes online. I mean, that's 20, 30,000. I mean, so
certainly.
I don't want to, like the other day when you took a big loss and and I asked you what happened. You were barely stuck 5 minutes ago, and then you admitted to me, I don't know why, but I fucking tilted. And listen, I've tilted a million times, and I don't think there's anything harder to go to sleep over than when you gave away money yourself. You agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. And especially when you're already blessed to be playing such a good game to begin with.
Yeah.
And, and then, I don't know if you find this, but I find an element of entitlement tilt. You just expect to win, every time, right? Especially if you're playing like a really good game where, like you think you have an edge, and then like you lose or stuff doesn't go your way, and it can lead to, and people tilt in different ways. Like, you might tilt by just calling down people more often, where I might tilt as by just like piling an ace king for 300 big blinds, versus any 4-bet,
Yeah.
But I think that's the toughest part is the entitlement tilt, where in poker, like even if you're crushing the game, you're still going to lose 35, 40, 45% of sessions.
Yeah.
You just got to be okay with that, and it's harder to be okay with that when you're in such a sick game, right? It's like if you're final table at WSOP with a bunch of bad players, and then you tilt half your stack, that's going to piss you off a lot more than if you do it, in a high roller with a bunch of robots, right? Where it's like, maybe they're all better than me anyway.
Yeah. You're right. When I hate playing against the fucking robots. I think they're all a fucking joke. And listen, do the GTO players, are there a lot of good ones? Yeah, but I mean, Phil Hellmuth exposed all the motherfuckers for, listen, just remember the GTO players, they play the same at all times. So once you know exactly what they're doing, to me, it's pretty easy to expose. You just do opposite of whatever they're taught to do against a certain bet size. You just change the bet size to different. You just do whatever the basic GTO tells you to do, and you go opposite of, and you throw them for a loop. When they raise in late position, and you just slot them in the big blind with aces. And then they're like, well, he didn't 3-bet me. He can't have this, so I could bet this, and I could bet, And so you just change it up, and but then sometimes you just 3-bet them with dog shit, whatever. You just go opposite of whatever the GTO system says. And I actually like playing with those robots. I think they're pretty easy to play against. But people say to me, well, they're so easy. Why don't you play in the big poker masters or the U.S. Poker Open? Oh, so I should sit there and put up 10,000 or 25,000 to play with 17 people because I think I know what I'm doing? No, I don't play dick measuring contests. I play in games like me and you play in, buddy, like our online game or your home.
Right. Right. What do you think? And we talked about this the other day a little bit. Like, what do you think the future of private games is? Like, how important do you think that private games are for, like, sustainable win rates?
I mean, that's a good question. I'm gonna say, it's kind of like somebody told me many years ago, right? It was actually Steve Zolotov that told me this. He said, the people who golf, it isn't about how good you are as a golfer, it's how good you are as lying about your handicap. And I started laughing. I'm like, what? He goes, the people who can hide their handicap and sit there and say, I'm a 4 handicap when they're a 2 handicap, and then they get people to golf for 10,000 or 20,000 a hole or whatever they fucking are, they win the money, right? Well, I'm going to apply that to private games, right? Is they've taken most of the fish out of the casinos and they've put them in private games. And so the key to winning at poker now isn't how good you are, it's how good you are at marketing yourself to get yourself into private games.
Right.
Which again, that applies to kind of like the golf handicap situation. If you're, I'm lucky enough that I have a big name and a lot of fish want to play with me. Just as I said, they play with Mike Matasso. So that gets me into the game, even though I'm a fucking tight knit. Okay. People like you, okay. And again, it's not to knock you in any way. You get to play in the private games because you give these bad players a lot of action, even though you're much better than them, which is if I had to give them the bad action, if I had to give these players lots of action to stay in the game, don't worry, I would give action. I would be like the guy Freddie in the game. The other day that you said's the best player in the game, right?
Right.
And the first hour he was just blasting 5,000, trying to get, and he got everyone gambling. He got like 40K winner. Then gave it back, and then I noticed. See, I thought at first that this guy was like the yum of the game, but then I noticed that once he started sobering up a little bit, that he was one of the best players, and as you end up telling me, he was probably the best player in the game. So, that's where it comes down to. When you get people in the game and what people don't understand is there's a lot of people who have a lot of fucking money. And they just play for fun. And when they're just putting in 5,000, right? You're like, oh man, this guy's great, right? But you also got to tell yourself, boy, I wish I was that guy, because anybody that can afford to just play poker like that, they have unlimited money. I'd rather be them than a guy like me or you trying to grind 10 or 20,000 a week, or whatever we're trying to grind, I want to be the guy that's just auto putting in the 5,000 with the fucking with the 10-8 offsuit every fucking hand. I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy. And I've said this for many a years. Like even when I played the big mix games and we'd get a live one that sits down, right, and everybody gets so excited, and I look at them and say, "You think that guy's a fish?" I said, "I'd fucking." Yeah, I'd trade places with that guy any day. I mean, any guy that can sit down and blow 10 or 20,000 in a poker game day after day and laugh about it. I mean, I want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy like me trying to pay bills and put money on the table. It's like,
right.
I just tell people that all the time. So it's just
I think I think you hit it right in the head, and I think you could. I joked around with a friend of mine who's a pro here in Chicago, that you could give a class to other pros on how to thrive in this private game environment, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think the celebrity thing, you're playing with Mike Matasaw in a big game, like that wears off pretty quickly.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You're just, to me, you're just Mike. You're just some dude, right?
Yeah. But we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun playing.
Yeah. We do have a lot of fun. But I think the fact that you're aware of everything, you're really aware of your image, you're aware of of your banter, you needle people, but you don't go too far.
Yeah.
And that makes it a fun environment, right? Even if I fold jacks to your 3-bet, hypothetically, not saying I did, but I did.
I folded jacks to your 4-bet, and you showed me 7-6. That's my own fucking
true.
fault. Your fucking ass was stuck, and I should have fucking.
No, I was not stuck at that point. But,
you were 7,000 stuck. You weren't buried at that point.
Yeah,
which is nothing. But sometimes 7,000 stuck for you is like 30. You go crazy, But most of the time most of the time we gotta break you through about the $15,000 fucking threshold. Once it's 15 or 20, Luis has to keep himself from going crazy. But listen, the truth of the matter is, I brought Luis on the show today because I'm not gonna lie, he's literally one of the top 5 funniest guys I've ever played poker with. He's just like anybody else, but like. Most of the time he gets stuck, he don't give a fuck. He just plays his music, laughs, talks shit to everybody in the game, and we have a lot of fun, But Brian told me, he said, you notice when he gets real quiet, that's him getting silently fucking upset, right? And so he told me to look for that. And then so when we were playing in the live game, he texted me, he goes, look, you see how quiet Luiz is getting? He's getting pissed. He's getting pissed, right? And so, yeah, I didn't see that side of you for a while. And then I did kind of know, well, Brian pointed it out to me that when you get stuck, you get a little aggravated and you get a little quiet in the live game. But on the online game, you really don't. You just kind of have fun.
Yeah, the thing about it, though, Mike, and I think you'll agree, is like, it's really more frustrating if you think that money's just gone forever, right?
Right.
Like if you like I'm not scared to run a bluff for 30K into a 20K pot on the river, right? Like if I think if I think it's a good spot, I'm just going to run it, right? And I'm, like, sure, I might get tilted at the results if they don't go my way. It's not going to be too upsetting, but it's more frustrating when you feel like that money is just gone, right? It's like if you're in a game that you think you shouldn't be in, or if you're like, the session's about to end and you're trying to get even on the session, or like, like whatever your goal is, and like you realize like, fuck, I'm not going to be able to get there. That's a lot more frustrating. And for me, like, I've just like ran good, period. Like, I'm not just talking about it like in poker necessarily, just like in life.
Yeah.
Like I just ran good, like I'm just like blessed. And so, in like a lot of ways. And so like, I keep that perspective in mind. Not just when I play poker, but just kind of when I do anything. And that certainly helps, right? Like I find it really odd when people just change their whole mood and personality just based on like short-term variance or whatever.
I mean, I can't stand that either. And I listen, I tell people all the time, your egos will make you, cards will break you. Stay humble, right? And it's like one of my mantras that I have, because I mean, you didn't know me then, but I mean, I had the biggest ego in poker. Fucking.
I can see it.
I mean, up until they cheated me on UB in 2007, 2008, I was a monster no limit hold'em player. I mean, I had no fear. I didn't give a fuck, right? You make mistakes, you get older, and you try and fix the mistakes you made, and I'm a lot more careful now. I don't want to go broke again. I don't want to put myself in a position where I owe everybody money, and I still have a injured disc that might need to be operated on, and if I have to do that again, and I have to be down for like 8 months, I gotta make sure I got money put away, and last time when that injury, when I had to do my, I went through like $1.5 million because I tried to play through it while I was recuperating, which was a big mistake, and my bills were like $30,000 a month, and so I went through a lot of money, and now I've got my bills down to about $6,500 a month, sometimes $7,000, and I'm able to play in a comfortable enough game to just live pretty comfortable. So you learn from your mistakes, and you try and become a better person, and that's what I've done. And am I glad that I don't have the ego anymore? Yeah, but in poker, you gotta have some ego, and if you don't have some, you're in trouble. And my ego got real big before I had the losing streak, and I felt I was the best player in the game. I was playing with no fear. I was just, what happened was they started not paying me off because I got tight. And so then I opened up my game, and the next thing you know, I'm opening up my game, running big bluffs. And most of the time they would work, but somehow they'd hit the card that they needed on the river in the middle of a big bluff. And then the next thing you know, I'm going through like 30, 40, 50,000. And so I kind of lost focus, kind of lost sight for a while. During that losing streak of 130,000, I know I gave away 50,000 of it,
Right.
And now I've won back around 70. And so the truth of the matter is, if I would have played great, I think I'd be down 5,000 for the last 6 weeks instead of still down like 60.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that losing streak's my fault, but that happens when you start losing. You're like, oh, he can't really have it again. Oh, he can't really have it again, right? You got aces, you got kings, and you're check calling the turn. The board's 9, 10, jack, and you got kings, and then deuce on the turn, and 3 on the river, and you block a straight, and Next thing you know, and the guy called a huge 3-bet with Jack 10, and you get fucked. But that happens every day. But it's not just about that. It's about all that happening over and over. Like I had a stretch where I lost aces or kings like 29 out of 33 times, which is just ridiculous, And I found myself. Then I finally flopped a couple sets. I ran into a bigger set, and again, almost every time I knew I was beat, but I couldn't get away from the hand a lot of time once the losing streak started, because you don't believe that, oh my God, my aces, my kings are beat again. You know what I mean? Right. So I think that the moral of the story is, like, when you run bad, follow your instincts. And I stopped following my instincts, and that's how that losing streak got so much bigger. And even like I was talking to Phil yesterday, I was like, I don't like my poker game, right? He goes, what's the matter? I go, I'm playing too tight and I'm playing scared. And you know what Phil Hellman said to me? He goes, I made all my money playing tight and scared, And the truth of the matter is tight is right.
My ROI is the best ROI in history. I'll say that.
But that's funny, man. And but I said, yeah, Phil, but there's so many spots where I just always pick up the pot, or I always raise the turn, and I'm not doing that. He's like, so what? He goes, you had a bad losing streak. You wanted to tighten up. I told you to tighten up to get yourself confidence back. He goes, don't worry, you'll be able to start making those moves again. He goes, just maybe you're just not ready to right now, So I going into the World Series here, I got 13 days to really get sharp. I feel my no limit game is, I'm going to go ahead and say a year ago, April, May. So we're talking 15 months ago. I felt it was the best it had ever been in my life, even better than 2005 when I crushed. And I was really playing at a really high level. I got in the zone, I ran good, and I was real happy. Now I really think my no limit hold'em game on a scale of 1 to 10, and I might be better. I might be low when I say this, but I've got myself around a 6, because I'm just not pulling triggers, and I'm not following my reads on big calls. Like my instincts tell me something, and I just when somebody just moves in on me for 9,000 and I got 1,000 in the pot, and I'm just like, I know I'm good, but then I start telling myself, find a better spot, instead of just call and win the 9,000. So I feel like that's where I'm really struggling a little bit right now. And again, it's not the worst mistake. If your mistakes in no limit hold'em is because you're playing too tight, I'd rather be doing that than spooing and giving away your money. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the only that's where I feel my no limit game is going into the World Series right now, around a 6. But if you look at all the tournaments I'm playing, I think 3 no limit hold'em tournaments out of 30. So
Wow.
And I might play more. We'll see. I want to see how it goes here in the next couple of weeks. I just started playing my mixed games starting yesterday, and so I'll be playing mixed games pretty much every day. You probably won't see me much on the app here the next couple of weeks, because I really want to get my mixed games sharp. The only thing, let me tell you something. The thing about mixed games is it's like riding a bike. Once you learn how to play all the games, after it should be, honestly, I think within a week's time of putting in 2-3 hours a day, I'll be really sharp. I'll be sharp for the World Series in the mixed games. People look at me as a no limit hold'em player, but I've made all my money up until the last 2 years playing mixed games. I just played 3,600, 4,800 mixed games, and I made anywhere from 300 to $1 million a year every year for I don't even know how many years straight. The only reason why I was down and out is because I used to have a sports betting habit, which I got rid of about 4 years ago. Now, I like to joke, or you like to joke around with me, like, well, you got rid of your sports betting habit, Mike. Why'd you bet 500 on this game? Why'd you bet 1,000 on this game? And my answer is, well, I still make a $500 or $1,000 bet, like once a week or something if I like a game, but people follow me forever. I used to bet 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 on, I used to bet 10,000 a game every first half, every second half, every total, every side,
Crazy.
So, and I look back at that, I look back at a lot of mistakes I've made, and I say to myself, did I really do that? Was I really like that? And the truth of the matter is I was, and I, it didn't really change until, like 3 years ago. So, so that was whatever. I bet $1,000 on the Raiders +4 on Monday night, and all that crazy ending. I was thinking to myself, if I lose this game, boy, they might never even get 1,000 out of me again. So that's the first football game. That's the only football game I bet, and I probably won't bet any this week. I am leaning towards a couple games I like that I'm going to put out as my hand of the week as soon as we're done. But that's what's going on with that. What's that, bud?
I went ahead and opened up the lines just so people can call in.
All right, yeah. So anyway, Luis, we're going to open up the phone lines,
Sure.
and we're going to take questions from anybody who calls in and wants to talk to me or you. A lot of people out there don't know who Luis is. He's a really good poker player, and he's a good day trader. And you can ask him anything you really want. So let's light up the lines.
They're open.
They're open?
Yep.
Where's our music?
Oh, you want that?
Yeah, I want it.
All right, let's do it then.
The Mouthpiece.
If you'd like to take part in our phone call segment, you can give us a call at 702-329-0480. And if you're a snowflake or a pussy and you don't want to talk to me, you can email me at mouthpiecepodcast@gmail.com. Also, follow me at the Mouth Matiso on Twitter for times that our call-in segment will be live. 702-329-0480. We got a caller. What up, what up? Welcome to the Mouthpiece.
Yo, what up, Mike?
What is it?
Jacob in LA.
What up, Jacob? How's it going, man? Welcome to the show.
Good, good. I just wanted to talk to you about NFTs. I know you're trash, but in the new with the new economy coming, everything's going to be digital. They don't want us to own anything, and the value is going to be on digital items.
Well,
you know what I mean?
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying, okay? But if you think in any way that our government is going to let you buy all these digital things for a ridiculous amount of money and all the cryptocurrency where they're laundering not millions, billions of dollars, then you're just stupid. Okay, we live in a country right now that's being run by communists. Okay, Joe Biden, who's ever running Joe Biden, because Joe Biden ain't running them, they're communists. Okay, they just put out a thing last week or 2 days ago that they're going to start checking people's bank records for any transactions of cash over $600. Okay, this is what the communists want to do. And if you think with the NFTs and with the cryptocurrency that they're not going to come in and take their they're coming. They're coming. They're not going to. That's just my opinion. What is your opinion on that?
No, you're right. You're right, Mike. You're right.
Yeah.
They're going to take everything, because they want us to own nothing and rent everything.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, they don't want. They want to control your. So that's what COVID is. COVID is 100% political right now. They want to take away your rights. They want to take away your ability to make money. Like if a place has over 100 employees, if they're mandatory vaccinating or they're threatening to close down people's businesses. This is America. This isn't fucking communist China. But they voted for the fucking socialists. They voted for the communists. All these people that voted that have businesses, I fucking hope they lose them all. All the people that voted on the other side, I'm like Dave Portnoy. I want to reach out and donate $50,000 to help keep their businesses going. You know what I'm saying? Because all the people that voted, they knew they were like, oh well, Trump has mean tweets. He's so mean. Oh, go. But his policies were great. You know, and I say it again. I'll say it on the show. Name me one policy that the Democrats have put out that's good, and I will give you $1,000. Okay?
Fucking zero. None
zero.
of them are good.
There's none. Okay? So what are they voting for? They're voting for the media telling you that, oh, the Republicans are racist. They're Nazis. They're racist. If you don't vote for us, you're voting against equality. You're voting against black people. You're voting for Nazis. Well, that's all they're running on. They're running on racist, gay, transgender, gay, racist. That's it. That's all they're running on. So,
but the funny thing is this is what they're going to promote. So you know how Antifa is anti-fascist?
Yes,
they're the ones that are actually the fascists.
They are the fascists. That's what I've said.
Yeah,
just
like in Germany. They had, the useful idiots, right?
Yeah.
All the people that backed them are going to get slaughtered. They are coming after them.
Listen,
it's going to be a racist
people
country.
Are not following their history. They're not reading books.
Exactly.
They're not people should go out and buy The Fall of the Third Reich, okay? And then they'll learn something about what's going on right now in America, okay?
But Mike, also, this is the natural cause of a republic if the men don't stand up.
No, I agree. And as you know, that's why the fucking left is trying to sissify men, male feminization and anti testosterone and toxic masculinity and all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So they're trying to do that on purpose. But I agree with you. If like what's going on in this country what's going on in Australia is way worse, but what's going on in this country with this COVID laws is if people don't stand up for our rights, there is going to be no rights left. And there is going to be no USA left. It's going to be run by communist fascists. And that's the truth. There's no other way to look at it. It is what it is.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, man. I appreciate the call.
All right, bye.
Later. So, anyways, 702-329-0480. 702-329-0480. If you want to talk with me or Luiz, you want to talk day trading, talk whatever you want to ask us, we're here.
Hello?
Oh, welcome to Mouthpiece. It's Mike.
Hey, Mike.
How are you doing
Chris
today?
here. How are you?
Hey, who's this?
It's Chris.
Oh, Chris, what's up, bud? How's it going?
Not much. I spoke to you maybe 6 months ago, and I'm the guy that I called with 8 high and won the pot.
Oh, I remember you told me that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you totally believed me, but I was a little bit out of sorts that night. But
well, I don't know. I mean, back in the day when I was really good, I mean, Scotty Wynn fucking 4-bet me on the fucking turn where the board was 5-8 deuce on the board. And I 3-bet him with Jack fucking Queen of spades. I had a flush draw. And he 4-bet me. And then he bet the river and I just called him. I thought he had 7-6 and he had 7-6,
yeah, good call.
But that was back when I actually knew what everybody had every hand. No, I still do. I listen. If I'm playing live, I pretty much. But I the thing is now people are pretty good. I'm not looking to make those crazy calls anymore because it's just not what there's too many good spots. You know what I mean? But back in the day when everybody was bad, it was pretty easy to make those really loose calls and be right. So.
For sure. For sure.
So,
hey, so I was checking out the W's SOP, and it goes through that you have to be vaxxed and all that, and then part of it's like if you get COVID, you have to follow the COVID rules, right?
Right.
Which is basically like don't come anymore, right?
Well, the truth of the matter is,
how's that going to work? Like, are people going to be popping Tylenol?
This is
stuff?
going to be a COVID-infested disaster. okay? Because people are being lied to, and I ask everybody who listens to the show to go out and look on your own. Just go see what's happening in Israel, okay? They're 80% vaxxed, everybody over 12, and the hospitals are full with 60% are fully vaxxed in the hospitals, okay? So Delta variant and all these new variants, okay, are not stopped by the vaccine. The vaccine stopped COVID #1 that we had through June 2nd of this year. The vaccines do nothing for the new variant. So by putting mandatory vax is criminal. And what they're doing, now I had a long talk with Ty Stewart. He explained to me why he did it and why they're, and I talked about it on the show last 2 weeks ago. But he made a lot of sense. It was either that or no World Series. So, but let's be honest. It's like listen. Me and Ty Stewart, we've talked for 3 hours on the phone. We've had many a text back and forth, and I told him straight out, 50% of everybody at the World Series are gonna get COVID, right? That's just what it is. The Delta variant's only protected by 51% with Pfizer, 66% J&J, 72% Moderna, but 90% of the people have Pfizer. So you are going to, lucky for me, I've had COVID already and I'm fully vaxxed, so I'm like 13 times less likely to get COVID again. So I'm going in there. I'm not worried, but it's going to be funny. All these people who are pushing for vaccine mandates and, oh yeah, it's so great. The World Series, mandatory vax. Yeah, we're not going to get COVID. And they're all going to get COVID. And they're going to be at the final table or the final two tables. And we lost them. Anyways, I'll finish my discussion. And they're going to be at the final table, final two tables, and they're going to get removed from the tournament. And I'm honestly, I don't want it to happen to anybody, but there's, I don't know, about 10 of them on my Twitter feed that are all pro-vaccine and you're killing people if you're not vaxxed. And I'm going to laugh my ass off when they get COVID and they're at the final table of a tournament and they're removed. There's only about 10 of them. I don't wish that on anybody. I don't even wish it on them. Okay? Those people know who they are, by the way. But when it does happen to them, I'm not going to feel bad. Okay? I'm going to feel bad when it happens to somebody that, don't know. Who are you calling?
The next caller.
A next caller? Okay, cool. Luis, you can chime in anytime, bro.
Sure.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike and Luiz. What's going on?
This is Drew from the Woodlands. We're talking about this. I'm catching up on the live feed here. You're talking about the people who are gonna, who are all about how this disease is gonna kill them, and they're afraid to get the sniffles.
Yeah,
I'm just up to the thing. It's like we hear all this stuff. Joe Rogan got the rap. The media said he took horse dewormer.
Oh yeah,
and okay, same thing that Japan just said they want to give everybody, right? The thing is, this is not with the CDC information out there. 70% of the people in the United States have taken the vaccine.
Yeah,
20 or 15 to 20% of the people have gotten it and recovered. Yeah. We're at 88%, what they call herd immunity. They keep changing the bar. Dude,
yes.
This is it.
100 million people have had it and recovered. Okay? And the truth, you're right.
In the United States, it's 30 million people. Okay?
Whatever. Yeah.
30 million people in the United States. Okay? Right. I know the statistics.
Yeah.
Okay?
You're right.
30 million people. 30 million people in the United States. There are 25 million people, 25,000 people in critical care. You're hearing the news saying, You're telling me you can do the math in your head. You're a poker player. You're watching the podcast.
Yeah.
You can do the math. And you think that 25,000 people in critical care in all the 50 states is causing what the media is telling you is going on.
It's
in
a
the
lie.
hospitals.
It's a lie. And not one.
You're a poker player. You're listening to this podcast. You rep yourself as being a person with critical thinking abilities, but you're afraid to think, why haven't everybody in India died? Well, they use therapeutics. They use their own immune system.
Yeah.
You know, your immune system that's evolved over millions of years. Have any of you idiots with a critical thinking brain ever heard of a book called War of the Worlds? Have you ever seen a movie called War of the Worlds? Well, it ends, cut to the chase, we have earned our keep on the planet because of the joins. We fought off joins and joins and joins. That's why you're here. Now, if this is a litmus test for the future about if you're too much of a dumb shit to realize what science is and isn't, then let it go. I hope you all die of COVID in the next 2 months. That's Drew from the Woodlands, and that's the bottom line, because you're all fucking pussies.
I love it. I love it, Drew. Thanks for the call. Good. That was awesome. You know what? And he's right. You know, it's like the media has everybody in a frenzy, right? COVID. Oh, you're gonna die. Well, I mean, fucking for a year and a half, the statistics are out. You know, 94.6% of all COVID deaths, 94.6% are over the age of 65, comorbidities, underlying conditions, or fucking obese. Okay, the other 5.2%, okay, are people with, you know, that are, there's I think something like 2% that are people, I mean, like people like under the age of 30 is like 0.002%, you know, but the fake news is just putting out. I mean, I can't believe Joe Biden last week with the most divisive speech I've ever seen said, the unvaccinated are killing the vaccinated. Okay, well, let's analyze that for a second, Luiz. If the vaccines stop you from getting COVID, or, now that doesn't, by the way, or stops you from being in hospitals or in critical or dying from COVID, because that's what they say, take the vaccine and you don't get hospitalized, you don't die, then how are the unvaccinated killing the vaccinated? You tell me that. Put that together.
So, I mean, for the record, I'm, vaccinated, and
me too.
If you get vaccinated, then why do you care if the guy across from you is vaccinated, right?
Because the fake news is telling you. They're telling the sheep. They're telling all the sheep that
it would be like if it's cold outside and I have a jacket on, and I say that I'm cold because you're not wearing a jacket.
Yeah. No, that's a great analysis. It's a great analysis. You know, and when I say I'm vaccinated, what do I give a fuck if the guy next door to me, my next door neighbor, isn't? And these fucking dumb fuck poker players, who know who they are, by the way, they say, well, you're fucking, don't you care about who's dying? They're taking up beds. No, they're not taking up beds. It's a fucking fake. There's not one person in the United States in the history of COVID that hasn't been treated for COVID, okay? There's no beds being people are not out in the street dying from fucking COVID. It's not happening. Just like at the beginning of COVID where there was the fake news showing freezers and trucks with freezers of all the dead people or whatever in New York. It's just shit never was happening, okay? Yeah. They pushed an agenda. They're still pushing an agenda. You have to ask yourself, why are they pushing the agenda, okay? That's what you have to ask yourself. Why are they pushing so hard for everybody to get vaccinated with a vaccine that doesn't stop you from getting COVID, okay? Right. Now, there's a lot of, there's conspiracy theories, there's a lot of thought process to it. My thought process, and I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks, and I have my own opinion because we live in the United States and you're allowed to have your own fucking opinion. Look at Nicki Minaj the other day. She came out with an opinion of what the fake news didn't like about vaccines. They took her off Twitter and they tried to silence her because she has 22 million followers because this is what they're doing. It's all about control. The entire COVID thing's all about control. So, it's to me, it's like, the poker, people are dying. Well, who gives a fuck who's dying? Oh, 300 people a day are dying. Oh, that's 90,000 people a month. No, it's less than that. It's 9,000 people a month, 30 times 300. Sorry about that. Do these people understand that 1.8 million people die a year in the United States? That's over 150,000 people a month, okay? So the fake news want to tell you, oh, these 300 people are dying from COVID. Well, the flu's gone. What happened to all those people who are dying, right? And how many people are dying from cancer because they're afraid to go to the hospital because they're afraid of getting COVID? Okay, for the first year, thousands. How many dying from suicide because they're stuck in their fucking houses with these strict COVID? They don't put all these in. Here's the thing: is 200,000 people, 160,000 people, or I might be wrong here, but 80. It might only be 80, but 100,000 people died from drug overdoses last year. Okay, 100,000 fucking people. Another, how many thousands of people on the street homeless? They don't give two oops of a fuck, our government. They don't care about, they literally are handing them needles in the street and letting them do drugs in the street in California, right? They're doing absolutely nothing to help with, the homelessness, the drug problem. So all of a sudden our government magically cares about, people are dying. You got to get vaccinated or we'll never get back to normal. Well, how's that possible when 50% of people vaccinated are spreading COVID? And at a 9 times higher rate, the people, here, I'm give you my fucking thought process. They want more and more vaccinated because the more that are vaccinated are going to cause more variants because there was no new variants until people got vaccinated. And so the more new variants come out, the more they keep people in fear, the more they fucking have control over your life, the more they put people out of business, the more they push mail-in ballots so they can fucking steal more elections. And that's what it's about. It's about control and power. That's all it's about. And if anybody wants to argue with me, they're stupid. Go look at the Met Gala the other day with fucking AOC, tax the rich fucking dress. Why she's sitting at a gala that is between 30 and 275,000 to get in. And the irony of it is you have this poor worker holding her dress as she walks in, fully masked, as none of these fucking hypocrites have a mask on, right? So it's like, I'm your servant. I have to wear a mask and you don't, right? That's what's going on in the United States, man. 702-329-0480. Give us a call. You can hit me and Luis up. I know it's a little bit slow tonight on the podcast. It's Friday night. I don't know why. Usually Friday night's been a good night for us. But yeah, probably. What you say? We'll do Thursday next week. All right, we'll do Thursday next week. Yeah. So, anyways, Luis, what do you think of my COVID rant?
I'm a fan. I mean, I think that there's a lot of bad things for you, right? There's there's a lot of stuff that people do that are bad for them, bad for their health, bad for the health of others. Smoking or eating McDonald's or, whatever it is. But, we already have a cure, right? A quasi cure for going to the hospital or having the symptoms. And if you want it, you take it. And if you don't, and you want to risk it, you die or you whatever. And there should be no mask mandates and everybody should just be able to go out.
Exactly. Everybody knows the risk, no mask mandates. They know what they're getting into when they leave their house. It's up to them. We live in a free fucking country. All these poker players that are against that are fucking either communists themselves or they don't know how America is run, okay? America is a free country. Joe Rogan hit it right on the nose when he said, and they want to cancel him. He's got the biggest podcast in the world with like 10 million listeners or whatever. When he says straight out, vaccine passports are a dictatorship and the end of the United States as we know it. He's telling the truth. And it's just amazing how many poker players are like, yeah, vaccine passports. Yeah, I want people vaccinated around me. And I'm going to say it again. Why do you give a fuck if they're vaccinated? Welcome to Mouthpiece. This is Mike and Luiz. What's going on?
Hey, Mike. This is my name is Randy DeLima calling from LA.
Okay.
Huge fan. Been watching since High Stakes. Got into poker many years ago. But since Luis is on, I had a question on trading. I work for a bank. I actually do FX. I'm more of a practitioner. I'm not doing day trading for myself. And with COVID, been wanting to transition into something where I'm doing it for myself. So I just wanted to ask Luis how he got started in trading, and how do you get started in something like that?
Yeah, sure. So I was doing investment banking at the time, and I had a recruiter reach out to me, and she's like, "Hey, have you ever thought about becoming a trader?" And at the time, I said, "No, I don't want to gamble my future away. I did well in school, and I was in finance. I was making a decent living. No, thank you." And then one day I was stuck in the office late, and I was like, I'm at least going to take the interview. And I took the interview at a high frequency trading firm in Chicago, and I saw kind of everybody, in shorts and a t-shirt and a bunch of computer screens. And I was like, man, that's really cool. And long story short, I got a job at a high frequency trading firm in Chicago. And then I learned a lot of the strategies there. And I thought to myself, man, I could probably do this on my own or with a partner. And that's kind of what happened. A developer that used to work with me left, and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to start my own gig. Do you want to come?" I said, "Yeah, let's do it." And so it was, just us and, a couple other people at the start, and just kind of implementing strategies in the derivative markets that, I learned, and I was right. It was better if you do it on your own. I did have an edge over the market. And a lot of it is similar to poker in the sense of, you can imagine a trading firm like a stable, like a poker stable. So one guy backs a bunch of players, or, buys, pieces in a bunch of guys. But then at a certain point, those players just get good enough to make money on their own, right? They don't need backing anymore. Or they just might want to be, independent. They might not want to share a hand history with somebody or whatever. And that's kind of what happened to me. And I think the best way to get started, it depends on what kind of trading you want to do. But if you want to day trade,
I'm doing FX right now.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to, so a lot of FX trading is high frequency, or day trading. So when I say high frequency, I mean many trades during the day, right? The best thing to do is just to get a list of trading firms. Most of them are in Chicago or New York. Some of them are in the Bay Area, and just email them because most of those places are small shops. And email or call them. If you pick up the phone, you're like, "Hey, I really enjoy this. This is what I'm doing now." It helps to have a technical background, in statistics or finance or something like that.
I've got 15 years of experience.
Oh, okay, that's perfect. And even in poker, if you have some poker experience, there's a couple of the best traders that I know are ex-pro poker guys. So, a lot of the elements that make you a good poker player make you a good trader, and vice versa. So, but definitely just reach out, because it's not an industry. It's not like a bank, right? A bank has all the resources, a bunch of branches, a bunch of locations, an HR department. This is kind of just hey, it's sort of like in poker, right? Hey, if you want to talk to Mike Matissa, what's the best way? Well, best way is just reaching out to him, or reaching out to somebody that knows them. That's going to be the best way. And in trading, it's kind of the same thing. So that would be my advice.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, Luis, thank you. I really appreciate it. Mike, one of the best presents my wife gave me was you said happy birthday to me, and I was floored.
Oh, I'm
Best birthday I ever had.
not. Do I do a cameo for you?
Yeah, man.
All right,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Good.
so I just want to wish you the best of luck in the World Series. I'm a huge fan of yours.
Thank you, my
dad's
friend.
a huge fan.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
man. My dad watches you all the time. He's been dealing with kidney disease all his life. He's on his second kidney. Still
Well,
kicking, but
I'll say
he
some.
loves
I
you,
know
man.
Jennifer Harmon had really bad kidney problems. She had to have a kidney transplant, and
Yeah.
you know, so I know how hard that is, and so I wish him. Hope he gets healthy, and I wish you the best. And I appreciate you calling the show.
Yeah, man.
All right,
Thanks,
my man.
man.
You take
Appreciate it,
care.
Luis.
You're welcome.
All right.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah. So, you know, like I said, you know, we're gonna call somebody. Let's do another call.
Yeah, we got a couple.
Got a couple. All right, we'll do them.
Hello.
Hey, welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Good. Who's this?
It's a chick.
My name is Andrea.
Hi, Andrea. How are you doing?
I'm okay. So I am 100% on board with everything that you said about the COVID vaccine
Yeah.
and the people that have immunity. I, for example, had COVID-19 last year back in April.
Okay.
And I recently, just a couple of weeks ago, I got retested for the antibodies.
Yep.
And my doctor said that I'm at 170. So why am I going to take the shot?
Exactly. And if you look at the statistics, if you've had COVID, you're 13 times less likely to get it again. My friend Ben, who also had COVID at the exact same time you did, a year ago, April. Okay, and actually it was a year ago. It was like probably about 3 weeks after the thing started. Oh wow, we lost you. We'll try and call you back. Yeah, we'll call you back. Hold on one second.
Hello?
Hey, sorry about that. And
It's okay.
And so he had he had COVID. He's 36 years old. He's he's in perfect shape. He works out at the gym every day. He eats good. He refuses to get the shot. Right now, he went 2 weeks ago. He went to Nashville. Nashville is the hottest spot in the United States, according to the CDC, is for COVID. He went to every bar. He went to all the games. He went maskless because there's no mask in Nashville. That's not the communist state, Tennessee. And
Great.
so, and then he came back and just wanted to test himself, just make sure. And of course, he never got COVID or nothing and his antibodies are still working, right? So, we have all these millions of people that have had COVID. Why should they get? Why should they get the shot? And like, how about the data that says if you're under 25, you have a 18% chance of getting myocarditis, whatever, of an enlarged heart, whatever it's called.
Well, listen to this real quick. My son is in law enforcement, and he was coerced into getting the shot. So I was upset about it. Anyway, he got it, and one of his coworkers recently got it, the second dose, and immediately went blind. 23 years old.
Went blind? Wow. That's
blind.
Haven't heard that one
23
before.
years old.
You know what? You should literally, I mean, I'm dead serious when I say this. You should have that coworker call Fox News and get on Tucker's show, and he gets people he brings people on that, and again, he's not anti-vax. All he talks about is I'm pro-vaccine, but before you get the shot, it's okay to do research on it. You see what I'm trying to say? And the communists that are running our country don't want you to ask questions. If you ask questions, you're a Nazi or you're a racist.
You're a bad person.
Right, you're a
racist.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
So
listen to this. So when I got it back in April of last year, and I got tested positive for antibodies. I got retested, like I said recently. Less than.
Oh man, we keep looking.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. Call her back. Well, it might be on her end, but we'll call her back. I like this person.
We keep getting disconnected.
Yeah, that's really weird. This never happens. It might be on your end. It might be on ours, but I've never.
You know what it is? Because we're talking the truth. They're probably listening.
Yeah, you're right. You hit it right on the nose. The government's probably listening, and they're like, I know whenever I do a show where it's like anything negative about what the government's pushing, they tell them, Danny, what do they do to us? Demonetize us. Like, why is this show demonetized?
That's happening right now.
Yeah. So that's what they do. They do to my show. They demonetize us whenever we talk anti-vax or anti, whatever the fucking communist government's pushing. I just, but no.
So my husband had it March of last year. He went and he got tested, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he had it worse than I did, the COVID, and his antibodies are four times higher than mine.
There you go. And so why should you guys why would you guys get the vaccine?
Exactly. And why would I get the same dose of that a person that did not have the virus? Why would I receive the exact same dose?
Right,
Why?
which is to get your antibodies up to where it is right now, correct? That's what the vaccine would do, right?
Yeah.
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 No, I'm on board with that.
Yeah. So
I agree with you, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I'm not anti-vax either. Like, if you're a senior, if you're exposed, and you haven't had it, go for it if you haven't had it. But if you already had the virus and you survived it and you're okay, why am I going to put that garbage in my body?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Why? And why if you got the vaccine, why are you worried? If you got the vaccine that's supposedly protecting you so much and all this stuff, why are you so worried about me if I got it or not? If supposedly you're so protected.
I've been saying it since day one, the exact same thing. The uneducated poker players who know who they are will spout the fucking bullshit on Twitter like, well, if you're not vaccinated, you're look at the hospitals, people are dying. Well, no, they're not. Like, the same amount of people are dying that were dying before. Okay, the vaccine covered the old variant. It dropped COVID from the whole country and the whole world having it down to like less than 1,000 cases a day. All right, we lost you. I apologize. We'll finish off this conversation as you're listening to me. And I'm like, well, again, I'm against vaccine passports. I'm against mandatory vaccines, but I would lean a little more towards it if we were on that trajectory with the old variant. But we're not, okay? Everybody's that's vaccinated. They're all getting it with the new variant. The vaccines don't do shit except they're a therapeutic that stop you from being hospitalized or dying. So if they stop you from being hospitalized or dying and you're vaccinated, what do you give a fuck if the guy next to you isn't vaccinated? Oh, because the fake news says it's 10 times more likely for the unvaccinated to spread it. That's a fucking lie. Go look what's going on in Israel. That's it. Go look up to the Jerusalem Post. Everything starts in Israel. They got the best medicine in the fucking world. Go look what's going on in Israel, and then you'll know how fake our fucking news is. Period. That's it. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Sorry we kept getting disconnected.
Yeah, one more.
All right, one more. Let's take...
Luiz did mention that he has to go soon.
Okay, let's take this one more phone call, and we'll send this motherfucker off to... What are you doing tonight? Playing poker?
Oh, I think we might have lost.
Luiz? The fuck? How'd we lose Luiz? Well,
I don't know. We're still streaming.
yeah.
See if I can call this guy.
Where'd you go? Luis? Where'd you go, buddy? Where'd you go? Oh, we just lost somebody. That sounded like, I don't know. Tell Luis to get his ass back on here. We'll call one more person and then we'll send his ass off. So Vermont has the highest vaccination rate in the country and it's spiking like crazy. Well, of course it is. I mean, wait till you see wait till you see the fucking COVID fest at the fucking World Series. This is going to be a spectacle. And I mean, I don't wish it on anybody, okay, except for the 10 people that were pushing for mandatory vaccines and think they know what they're fucking talking about. Those 10 people know who they are on Twitter. Anybody else that doesn't run their fucking mouth, and if they get COVID, I'll be praying for them, and hopefully a quick recovery, because 50% of the people at the World Series this year are going to get COVID. There's probably going to be one person on almost every final table, maybe not everyone, but at least, let's see, 90 events, at least 45 of them that are going to have to be removed because of COVID. And the dealers aren't vaccinated. Staff ain't vaccinated. Why? Because it's all political. They have no dealers. I'll repeat it, no dealers want to deal the World Series of Poker, okay? They are very short on staff. They are literally closed every poker room in Vegas, Caesars, to get every dealer in every poker room at Caesars properties to deal the World Series of Poker. And I really believe deep down in my heart that one of the biggest reasons why they made it mandatory vaccines for players is that's going to lower the field about 50%. And then they'll have enough dealers to deal the tournament. That's my opinion. And, Ty Stewart didn't deny it. He said straight out, we have a dealer problem. And they are paying the dealers an extra like $200 per day if they're vaccinated, which is a lot of money. They're doing whatever they can, he told me, to push them to get vaccinated. But there's a lot of people that they aren't going to, they're just not, I don't know if it's $200 a day, $200 a week. I might be wrong there. But he told me they're paying them $200. I don't think it's just $200 for a one-time deal, because, these people that don't want to get vaxxed, they're not going to just get vaxxed for $200. So it might be like $200 per week. I'm not quite sure. I'll get back to you next week on that. I guess.
I think Google shut us down.
What?
I think Google shut us down. Our phone lines aren't working.
Google shut us down? Of course they did. What else? What else can it be? When she was saying, she goes, they're probably listening, and that's why they keep knocking us off the line. Everybody out there thinks that we're joking. They have no idea what's going on in this country right now. The censorship of free speech is under attack by the left, by the people who run the big tech, and the Democrats are in on it. They don't want, if they could censor information and have you only listen to one. How could you decipher what the truth is if you're only allowed to listen to one side of information? And that's what they're trying to do right now. That's what big tech has complete control over people, and it's really bad. So we have zero phone lines no matter what, huh?
The internet seems to be working fine, but I can't make any calls.
And you can't get back to Luiz. You can't get him back on? Wow. Hold it. I'm like, I hear a game going in the background, and that's my private game. So our private online game has started. We have a couple new players sitting. If you want to play in my online home game, email mouthpoker@yahoo.com. Mouthpoker@yahoo.com. Receive 250 in chips for 200. Right now we got a 1-2 no limit game going, and we usually get PLO going also. So you can check that out. I guess there's no way to get Luiz back because we can't call anybody. Our phone lines are down. You really think Google shut us down? It's possible. And we've never had this happen, right?
It's not working right now, even though the internet's working fine.
Yeah, the internet's working fine, but we can't call. Well, that's about right. I guarantee you I'll get an email from Google tonight, probably already there, saying that you've breached the medical information, and you are giving out false medical information, and and that's why we've shut you down. I guarantee you it'll be something like that. What's going on in this fucking country, you guys? You guys have no fucking idea. You guys have no fucking idea. Yeah, Brandon. Yeah. Okay. You just don't even understand. That's just in this chat. We have there's probably about over 1,000 people listening right now between all the sites. So shut the fuck up. You know nothing. No.
I mean, it's been about 2 hours, so.
Yeah. So, anyways, what we're going to do is, since unfortunately we lost Luiz, I want to thank Luiz for being on the show. There's a couple more things we wanted to talk about, and but that's okay. We're going to do my pick of the week. Last year I think we went 7-10 in our pick of the week. Last week I did lose my pick of the week, so I did start 0-1. There's really a lot of games I like this week. I think Pittsburgh, you got Vegas on a short week, going across country to the early game. Now, I don't know if you've known this, but over the years, when you go cross country and have to play the 10 a.m. game, the team on the West Coast is like 28%. The home team is 72%. So I've been literally like teetering between Pittsburgh and the Bears. Now, people are like, oh, the Bears suck. Did you see how bad they were last week against the Rams? Well, the Rams opened their new stadium. The Rams are pretty loaded. The Bears had many chances in that game. They're laying 2.5 at home to a Cincinnati team who I do think will go over the total of 6 wins. But I just don't think they're good enough. And I think the Chicago Bears will win. I don't think Cincinnati is good enough to win a road game here. So, that's really kind of where I'm standing at. I'm leaning at the Bears, or I'm leaning on Pittsburgh as my pick of the week. I also like Denver over Jacksonville. That line has gone from 6 to 6.5. I just think Jacksonville looked like a very young team in week 1, and I think they're going to struggle again. Rookie quarterbacks always struggle. Another good bet that I really like is New England over the Jets. That line is now 5.5. I'm just not sure if I could lay 5.5 on the road with them. I might put them in my suicide. God, this is really... I've been going over this for the last, 2 days as my pick of the week. And usually, even though my 2 best picks last week, one was Washington and the other one was the Raiders, I ended up going with Washington as my pick of the week, even though I made a small bet on the Raiders. So I'm going to go ahead and say... this is really pushing it. Can we put out 2 picks of the week? Maybe we go 1-1? All right, I'm going to do it. The Chicago Bears minus 2.5 over Cincinnati as my pick number 1 of the week. And my pick number 2 of the week is Pittsburgh laying 5.5 over the Raiders. I mean, my instincts tell me Pittsburgh is the best play. I know they just come off a big road win, but I mean, Vegas, that game was nuts. And it's a short week going to the Eastern time zone. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to go with Pittsburgh as my number 1 pick and the Bears as my number 2 pick. And that's all I'm doing. That's it. You guys do what you want. I just know how hard it is to go on a short week across country for the early game. And, I mean, the Raiders did blow their load last week in winning that game. So, but who knows? I mean, Pittsburgh defense looked awesome against Buffalo, We're going to find out what the Raiders are made of this week, too, by the way. If the Raiders go into Pittsburgh and go 2-0, you can bet that they're going to be a team to be fucking reckoned with this year. I don't see it. I know their defense looked much improved last week against Baltimore, but I don't see it. I like Pittsburgh as my number 1 pick, and the Bears as my number 2 pick, but both are my picks of the week. I'll try not to put 2 picks of the week out very often because I suck at sports betting, even though I'm not betting. But I am good at picking, usually. When I pick one game, I'm usually good. Last year, we had a losing year. The year before, we had a winning year. The year before, we had a break-even year.
Last year was bad.
Last year was fucking terrible, man. I lost something like like, I think I went like 6-10 and lost like 6 in a row at one point after starting the year off like 3-0. So maybe starting the year off 0-1 this year will be good. So pick of the week, Pittsburgh and Chicago. I think, let's go with a, how about we go with a 2-team teaser, man, if you guys want to bet. Pittsburgh plus 0.5, Chicago plus 3.5. 2-team teaser. What do you think of that one? All right, guys. I'm sorry the phone lines went out. We're going to go. I just want everybody to know, if you haven't bought a piece of me, if you want to buy a piece of me, as you see what my sheet says, you see what it says at the top there? Think positive. And it has all my 25 and 10Ks written down. Think positive. It's very important. Positive think. It's all about mindset. So you got to get yourself in a mindset to play at the World Series of Poker. I want you to, you could visit ustake.com, and punch in my name, or you could check me out on Twitter. I've put the exact link to all my packages. 25K horse, 10K 08, 10K limit hold'em, 10K dealer's choice, 10K horse, 10K PLO, 10K deuce to 7, no limit. Hey, the phones are working. Look at this. What do you know? Let's take another call. Welcome to the Mouthpiece. The phones are working again. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? I just tuned in and saw him talking about the phones were down, and I thought I've tried to call in the past, so I just started calling and it went through and you answered.
Yeah, they've been down for what, 20 minutes, 15 minutes?
Yeah, I've been watching, so I don't know. I just tried to call it twice, and I really wasn't expecting anybody to answer.
Yeah, well, we weren't expecting a call to come through either. So what's going on today? What's your name?
Well, I don't know. I'm just a big fan of Mike. And is this the mouth I'm talking to?
This is Mike. This is the one and only Mike. There's only one.
Well, I'm watching you on the internet, and but I turned it down because I know there's like a delay or something.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, I appreciate you calling. You got any questions for me today?
Well, I did before all this happened. Now I'm nervous because I'm talking to you.
Stop it.
I'm a huge fan. I've been a huge fan of yours since the big poker boom.
Okay, cool.
I've watched virtually every poker game on TV that's ever been on TV, and I've been playing poker since 2002.
Okay.
And I've won many tournaments. I'm a tournament player, not a cash game player, but I just live in Tennessee, so I can't be in Vegas.
Gotcha. Hey, but at least you live in a free state. Just remember that. You live in Tennessee where you're free. You don't have to wear fucking face diapers. You don't have your businesses closed. So be happy. You live in a free state,
That's right. Everything is opening back up. It's like you would think nothing's going on at all around here.
Because there is nothing going on. It's all it's all media-driven hysteria to keep people scared and to control people's lives. That's all it is.
Yeah, and I will tell you right now, I am not vaccinated. I haven't been vaccinated and don't plan on getting vaccinated.
How old are you?
And I said back then when I was saying that, I was saying before the variant, I was saying there's just going to be another one. They're just going to release another one every time a vaccine comes out. They're just going to release another virus.
Yeah, you hear what he just said, everybody? They're going to release another variant. Here's a man that knows what's fucking going on in the world, okay? That's what they're going to keep. They're going to keep doing because they have massive power with COVID. Okay, massive.
More power than people realize. Way more.
Right? And what you just said, and I think I said it on my show 2 weeks ago, but my cousin, his wife, right? She will not let anyone in the house who's vaccinated, not who's not vaccinated, who's vaccinated, because she believes that the vaccines are causing the new variants and they're spreading COVID. And you know what?
Right.
If you look at the raw data of how the vaccines made the first variant go away, and we were COVID free on June 1st, and now COVID's out of control with a new variant. Well, the new variant was caused by the vaccines, and that's her belief. And at first I thought she was fucking crazy. But now if you look at the data and how the new variants and nothing's being stopped by any of the vaccines, I mean, maybe she's right. Maybe she's fucking
I
right.
think maybe it's once you get vaccinated, the human body reacts with the vaccination and then changes it itself,
Yeah.
and then you
And that's why I got COVID the first time I went out after being vaccinated, right? So, it changes your DNA, okay? It's the proteins in your system. And I think this is, like, remember, the government don't give a fuck about you. Just remember, everybody who's listening to the show, the government could give two hoops of a fuck who lives or dies. Why are they pushing the vaccine so hard, okay? Maybe they want you to get COVID, and that's how they're going to get herd immunity. See what I'm trying to say? Because they know the antibodies protect you from getting COVID, right? So if they put a vaccine in your body that makes you get COVID, but you don't get hospitalized or die, isn't that the quickest way to get herd immunity? Maybe that's why they're pushing the vaccine so hard, because they're definitely pushing it for a reason, and the government doesn't do anything unless they have an agenda, okay? And I'm not just saying now, with Biden in charge. I mean, even when the Republicans are in charge, when they start talking, like starting to spread shit or whatever they're saying, there's always an agenda, okay? There's either political agenda or some kind of agenda. So, there's a lot going on in this country, and unless you watch this shit religiously like I do, you're going to be uneducated and uninformed. But we have a serious problem of a bunch of communists running the country that want to destroy the country. They want to destroy what America is founded and built on. America was founded on Judeo-Christian values. They were founded on the belief in God. They were founded on, the nuclear family, and they want to push. All these awful things, whatever it is, and there's a reason. Why are they pushing this why are they pushing the transgender issue so bad? Telling 3-year-old kids that they're transgender when they play with a fucking doll, that's fucking sickness. I think it's fucking child abuse. I was fucking 3 years old. I didn't even know what the fuck. I don't even think I knew if I had a difference between a boy and a girl. Who the fuck knows? You're telling me that these young kids are like saying, "Mommy, I want to be a girl." Okay, son. Sorry, tomorrow we're dressing you up as a girl. We're going to give you hormones and you're going to be a girl. Really? Go be a fucking parent and say, shut the fuck up. And you're not a girl. You're a boy. You want to play with dolls. You can play with dolls. You'll grow out of it. Here's some more things to play with. I mean, I just think it's child abuse.
Kids, you can't ever predict what a kid's going to do or say, so you can't.
You know how many girls I knew that were tomboys growing up, or how many guys I knew that were whatever they dress. Dude, that's just a phase, man, and they grow out of it and they become good women, good men, and whatever. But they're pushing this anti toxic masculinity, anti testosterone bullshit. They're doing it for a reason, like the one caller called in. We need men to stick up for what's going on in this country. Well, if they fucking sissify every fucking man, nobody's going to stand up for shit. So, yeah, what's going on, brother?
350 million people in the country now, and I never thought I'd see that many people around. But
how about the fact that last week our communist president said if you have over 100 people in your business, you have to, for your business to be open, mandatory vaccine, right? Well,
right.
The person from Fox News asked Jen Penske, or whoever the White House press Psaki, whoever the White House press secretary was yesterday. Well, there's 200,000 people coming across the border illegally every single month. That's let's see, 5, 6, almost 7,000 people a day, right? And they asked him, none of these people are vaccinated. Do they have to be vaccinated? And she says, no. Next question.
That's one of the main things I don't understand is how they're letting this border stay open and people are just flooding in.
Because it's all a fucking lie. The whole mask thing, the whole close your business from COVID, it's all hypocrisy. That's all about controlling you, putting you out of business, making people fucking depend on the government so they vote for the Democrats because they're all going to be broke, right? And they know the true numbers are not 80 million people voted for Biden. It was 75 million for Trump and about 40 million for fucking Biden. Those are the true numbers. So how are they going to get those numbers up? They're going to fucking put people out of business, make people dependent on the government, and keep letting in 200,000 people a month illegals for 4 years. That's, what's that, 20 million people? 200 times 12, 2.4 million. That's over 11 million people. Just that they love to throw out the stat. Oh, there's 11 million illegals in the country. No, there's like 20 or 30 million. Okay. So they're going to push mass amnesty and they're going to give 20 million people citizenship. They're going to give another 11 million people in the next 4 years in. They're going to give them citizenship. And now that 75 to 42 million deficit now gets to about 75 million, 72 million. And then they don't have to cheat their way with their mail-in ballots. And that's what COVID's for. Okay, that's it. That's what's going on in the whole world.
I agree with everything you just said.
It's common sense, bro. But people who are on the left, most people on the left, they won't have this discussion with you. They'll just think you're fucking crazy, And the funny thing is I told this to Phil Hellmuth for the last 2 years, and his answer to me was, "I'm fucking crazy," right? And he literally thought I was fucking crazy. And then he just went to Italy with, I don't know if you know who David Sachs is. He's the original inventor of PayPal, very wealthy billionaire guy. He went with a bunch of Democrat friends and with David Sachs, whatever. And he came home and Phil Hellmuth told me the most amazing thing. He said, "Mike, David Sachs red-pilled all of us." And I was just like, baby, that's the greatest news I heard. And I said to Phil, "I'm not so crazy anymore, am I?" He says, "Well," he says it in a way where I can understand, you just kind of like spout out, which I do. I kind of just spout out my, what I feel is going on. But if Phil Hellmuth got red pilled, there's hope for a lot of us. There's actually hope. There's actually a hope for a lot of people in this fucking country. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just the truth. And it's like, like I said, the main thing I said when he said that to me was, "I'm not so crazy, am I?" You know what I'm saying? Because I was telling him what's going on in the country, and he'd think I was nuts, So I hope he doesn't get mad for saying that to people.
Mike, you're not crazy. You're a great person, and I appreciate what you're doing. And you're one of the greatest poker players that everybody knows.
Thank you, my man. I appreciate you calling in, and you have a great and safe weekend.
I'm going to call you back again when I actually have some things to ask you. And
sure,
stuff.
I'll be here. We'll be here next week, next Thursday, probably. It looks like so.
Great talking to you. Hope I can run into you one day.
You got it, my man. Take care. Peace.
You too.
Yeah. So, I got in a Twitter war with a couple people this last couple days. One was my good friend Eric Froelich, and I sent a video out of Lord Fauci. I like to call him Lord Fauci because he's the biggest political pawn we have now, and he loves his fame so much that he's on all the TV shows, just fucking pivoting and changing his fucking mind every week. And if you can go check on my Twitter feed, and you could go roll back probably a couple days, where I showed a video of Dr. Fauci in 2019, right before the pandemic. They asked him he was being interviewed about infectious disease, and they go, "Well, what do we wear masks?" And his exact answer, he goes, "Mask." He goes, no, that's all for show. He goes, "That's a safety blanket. Well, masks don't do anything, right?" And then he talks about, what's good about, he talks about what's good about the infectious disease is exercising, eating right, and washing your hands, right? He said, now that there's a COVID, why aren't the same Dr. Fauci he's a criminal. I hope he fucking burns in hell, by the way. Why isn't he telling everybody where is exercise, diet, and wash your hands? Now it's all vaccine wear a mask, wear 2 masks, wear 3 masks. Well, this guy's been an infectious disease, the highest paid guy in the country for, let's see, 21, for over 40 fucking years. What, all of a sudden, masks were bad and now they're good? No, it's about control. And all you fucking idiots are submitting to it. Okay? You don't change your mind after 40 years as an infectious disease person. At the beginning, you heard what he said in March. We don't need masks. Masks are dumb and a waste of time. Okay? Why did that change? That changed because it's about fucking control. Okay? The Democrats were in charge of both chambers of commerce, even though we had the White House. They were pushing agendas. Now they're pushing it even further. It's all you need to know. Look at the video. He's telling you with a straight face. He laughed and said, he says, masks? He goes, that's just a safety blanket for that. That's all bullshit. Go look at the video on my Twitter feed if you haven't seen it yet. Dr. Fauci from 2019. These people are fucking hypocrites. They're criminals. They're destroying everybody's livelihood. They're destroying people's lives. And the sheep, and y'all know who the fucking sheep are on Twitter, poker players, better wake the fuck up and learn what's going on. You know, and so he put back, well, Mark, you're allowed to evolve and you're allowed to change your mind. Evolve? The guy's been an infectious disease therapist for the highest paid one for 41 years. What do you mean evolve? All of a sudden masks are good, but they weren't good in 2019 and they weren't good at the beginning of the pandemic? Give me a fucking break. They know what masks are. They're fucking bullshit, you know? And so we got in a big fight over this, and I like Eric Froelich a lot. You know, but he's a fucking sheep also, you know, but, you know, I like him a lot. And then Andrew Barber tried to call me out and he told me that I was mentally ill and I have all these issues. And even Eric Froelich's like, oh, are you off your meds, Mike? No, because I have an opinion different than you. That's the thing between liberals and fucking people on the right. People on the right will listen to people on the left. Anybody on the left could call me and they could voice their opinion. I could tell them why I think it's wrong, and I have a normal discussion. People on the left, it's their way or the highway, or you're a piece of shit and you're mentally ill and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So aggravating. I don't want to be. Let's be done with politics. Anyway, so we got my pick of the week. I'm going with Pittsburgh and Chicago, with Pittsburgh being my number one play, I think. How the Raiders going to fire after that fucking win last week? Having to play the early game in Pittsburgh against that defense. I don't see it. But, you know, the line's pretty high. 5.5 is a pretty big number. The other one laying 2.5, Chicago. Less than a field goal. I mean, Cincinnati's going to be much improved this year, but, I mean, if Chicago can't beat Cincinnati at home, I mean, who are they going to beat at home? You know what I mean? It's not like Cincinnati is a powerhouse. Their over-under was only 6 this year. The fucking over-under on Chicago was like 7.5 or 8. And now all of a sudden, after 1 week, where Chicago looked like shit and Cincinnati looked good, now you're going to make, you know, I like Chicago plus -2.5. I don't know which one I like better. So we'll give out 2 picks this week. All right. Hey, Flashy. We're just getting ready to go. Everybody, you want to come on? Okay. The little 20-year-old cat wants to make his appearance before we sign off here. My little one-eared wonder. I love him so much. He's such a good boy. I know you all love Flash when he comes on here. He likes being the center of attention. Yeah, Baba. What are you doing? Yeah. Come here, show yourself. Yeah. You know you're on TV. You know you're the star. Come here, Baba. Look how good. He's all healed. He's doing good. He's a good boy. Hope he lives for 5 more years. Think I'm greedy? Actually, I really hope he lives for at least 1 more year. If I get 1 more year out of his surgery, I'll be happy. But he is cancer-free right now. What, Baba? We're gonna get ready to sign off. You got to show your. You showed your necklace. You made an appearance. Everybody loves Flashy. Yes, they do. Okay, we're gonna sign. We're gonna say goodbye to. I know. Another week in the books. We'll be back next Thursday, it looks like. Maybe Friday, I'm not sure. It'll be the day before the World Series starts. Check out my World Series of Poker packages at ustake.com. I'm selling 50% of myself. If you don't like the markup, fuck off. I'm giving away 25% free to the smaller buy-in tournaments. And I'm playing them all no matter what. So all you idiots that think I don't have money and that's why I'm selling half of myself, go suck a dick. We'll see you all next week. Thanks for listening to the Mouthpiece. And let's win some bracelets this year. We'll see you next week.
The Mouthpiece.